This Detroit Lions preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by WinBet. Bet $50 at WinBet and get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WinBet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bets today. We're also brought to you by IPVanish. IPVanish is the official VPN of SGPN, and they're offering 70% off. You go to IPVanish.com/SGP. That's IPVanish.com/SGP. And make sure to check out our new Discord server, the perfect place to interact and sweat bets with the entire SGPN crew. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord.
Hey, this is LeGarrette Blunt, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green, with my partner in picks, Ryan, real money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Are we here for a week one preview?
No,
Eagles,
we're not.
Lions. You got the I assume this was on
I want to get in the Lions' head to show them early what they're dealing with. Well, I mean, we kicked their ass last year. We're going to go in week one, take care of business, laying 4 over at WinBet all day.
Tout.
Birds -4.
Tout.
And yes, we are going to be doing every team betting preview, walking through the schedule. Don't worry, division previews are still happening. Ryan is a creature of habit. Any sort of slight change, his mind is completely blown.
Oh, you're putting this on me.
Yeah.
Wow, the shoulder of one man.
No, don't worry, Ryan. We're still doing the division previews. I love talking National Football League. And again,
what you're doing.
We already got the Jags. Now we're at the Lions. We're going to keep working our way up. I'm sure the Giants are what next?
Well, they had the 5th pick, Sean. You know that because you covered the NFL.
I do.
I know you're not 100% NFL, Sean, right now.
No.
I'm 100% over here. All right, coming out, taking shots.
Yes, taking some
fuck is that
shots.
shit?
If you guys haven't already joined our Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, tons of fun stuff going on in there, and we're going to be doing some live audio Q&A stuff in there. So stay tuned for that. But we threw out a poll question: what should we name our welcome bot? And winning by a landslide was Coach Leach. So when you join Discord, you will be greeted by the Coach Leach bot.
Not only that, Coach Leach is responsible for leveling you up as well. So this is perfect.
It's gonna be great. And Ryan, we had a bunch of great nuggets. If you missed the Coach Leach interview that we did recently, I think honestly it was kind of his best one. When he was talking about his pet raccoon, Bilbo Baggins, man, I was losing my mind. And our buddy Dano, stand-up comedian Dano Carter, big college guy, Notre Dame guy, he's texting me. He goes, "My favorite part was when he described the pet raccoon as a free raccoon, as if there's any other kind of raccoon you stumble upon that, or there's like raccoon breeders." Again, I just lost my. It was a great interview. It was really fun.
Pulling back the curtain, sometimes guests you need to warm them up a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes Coach Leach isn't firing right away, and I think what we learned was it's just you have to start with non-football stuff because the second, he perked up the way he's like, "Huh? Oh yeah,
yeah." If you ask him football questions, he'll give you the coach speak and stuff like that. But then when he started talking about the parrot, he was like, "Yeah, that parrot was real creepy." Hello, Lisa. Mike Leach impersonating the parrot. That was so good. Shout out to you, Trevor, in the YouTube chat. We're live. Rick Nash, 4-wheel drive Explorer. Oh, love some off-roading, Rick. Absolutely no chance the Lions get to 7 wins. I might agree, and that's what the episode's here for. Kramer, do you have that sound drop from Coach Leach from SEC Media Day?
You're better off having too small of a package than too big a one.
I'm
better off having too small of a package than too big a one.
One more time.
You're better off having too small of a package than too big a one.
Thank you to everyone who tagged us. You knew that was immediately coming into the Sound Drop Library. Speaking of the sound, listen to that noise. It means it's time for the National Football League. If you're betting the NFL or MLB or anything that's going on, WNBA, get it all over at WynnBet. $50 wager gets you $200 in free bets. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. WYNNBET. That's where you want to be. Again, the fantasy football. I mean, the fantasy football experience prize is pretty awesome. Every $500 you bet on sports or casino counts as an extra entry. So lay down those futures now so you have a chance to win this awesome prize. You and your entire league, 2-night stay at the Wynn Resorts. Again, so many great things to bet on. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBet. WYNNBET to claim your free bets today. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions at WynnBet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WynnBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. How about those Detroit Lions, Ryan?
Well, we were just in Detroit.
Yeah, great.
Could it have been a good luck charm?
I did. We had a nice run on the craps table. I had a nice run on the virtual blackjack table over at WynnBet. I'm just itching to get back into a win state.
I forgot about that already.
That was pretty awesome.
Monkey. Shout out to our social team.
Yes.
After memeing you and then dropping that monkey. I honestly watched that on a loop. You screaming monkey in the blackjack stream. Watched on a loop for 1 or 2 minutes.
It's a fun evergreen episode. And Ryan, that new thing we're working on, highlight the blackjack episode as an evergreen episode. Okay, good.
Come on.
That was a lot of fun. Can't wait to do that again. All right, let's talk Detroit Lions 2020. They were 5-11, 7-9 against the spread. Win total was 6 under.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
well, I shouldn't say it like that.
Dan Campbell takes over, new football guy. They get worse, 3-13-1, but a very good 11-6 against the spread. They did not go over the win total of 5. Win total result for that year under. Last year
you were correct. I may have been incorrect
on what
the win total last year.
What was it, 5 or
no? You predicted 4-13, hit it under 4.5.
So you're saying I had the Lions 4-13 and then also nailed the Jags. So now our first 2 team previews, I nailed their exact records.
No, 3-13-1.
Okay. So, and what did I have?
You didn't have the tie. 4-13.
Okay, so I was
I was 5-12 would put me over. Not proud of it, but I got that wrong. So
okay.
Anyway, carry on. Is that the end?
Yeah. So we're gonna go through the division, talk about any potential future bets we like. But
would you like to know how you did betting on them last year?
Sure. Yeah. Pull up the advanced metrics, Ryan.
5-12 ATS. Me 6-11. We did not have a handle of the Lions.
Well, it's weird because I knew they were bad, but they must have. I mean, just by looking at it, they were 11-6, 3-13-1. Normally in the NFL, you want to bet the dogs because they win outright, right? But I think Detroit, and I don't have the exact walkthrough on it, but they covered and lost probably at a higher percentage than any other team in the NFL.
Yeah, 7-9 ATS. Well, there you have it, right? 7-9 ATS through only 3 wins. You do the math. They also the argument as to why all the nerds are saying they're going to get better is that whole they were poor in close games. So them losing, we just watched before we started recording them losing on the 66-yard field goal to Justin Tucker, which just a comical way for this team to lose games. You can argue, I guess you can always make the argument. Poorly coached teams lose close games because they're not ready for the moment, or it's a regression indicator. So, yeah, I mean, this team, I get why people are optimistic about them. We didn't get a chance to visit Jared Goff Sucks Island while we were in Detroit, but it's still there. It's still in Detroit. His hands have not grown. We don't think he's gone to Germany with Tom Brady and enhanced the size of his hands. And at the end of the day, Jared Goff is a guy.
So wait, what did you have them against the spread? I gotta double check.
7-9.
in 2020 or
Oh no, 2021.
2021. They were also 7-9.
Yeah, sorry, both years.
Okay, because I must have looked it up wrong. I had it showing at 11-6.
Ooh, let's that could be my mistake.
No, we gotta do some research on the research here, but yeah. Regardless, they sucked. They're the Lions. I mean, they have a decent team around Jared Goff, but that's the problem. They still have Jared Goff. They brought in DJ Chark.
No, you're right. 11-6.
Okay,
I have the wrong number.
Okay, all right.
What?
No, I. That's why we're confirming it, Ryan, live on the show.
Well, that's interesting. We did poorly, even though that's even crazier to win only 3 games and cover 8.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm.
An additional 8.
Yeah. What do we get? Okay, so they brought in DJ Chark. They drafted Jamison Williams, who I think should be ready to go early in the season.
No,
we'll see.
100%, he's not back. I mean, I would say I'll set the over under at week 7. Week 6, week 7. I think he'll be on the PUP list. So whenever.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
You're predicting he's going to start on the PUP list.
Yeah.
I do like Dan Campbell's aggressiveness. Like when it comes, there was like a game last year late in the season where they could have kicked the extra point for the tie, went for 2. Yeah, I do like his like real football guy type thing. Goes for it on 4th downs, probably when you should. They won some games in exciting fashion. They lost some games in exciting fashion. We just rewatched that. Justin Tucker kicked a 66 yarder, hit the bottom of crossbar and fell over.
Which I forgot about.
But I feel like they also had some wins going the other way. Like Jared Goff, when they got their first win, it was on this crazy play.
2-6, like in close games. So you're just remembering the couple where it fell true for them. But I mean, just it feels like Dan Campbell might be a football guy that understands. I think he's on record saying that one of the things he learned from Sean Payton was. You need to understand as a head coach what you shouldn't be involved in and what you shouldn't have to think about and create mental space for. And one of those areas is very clearly his decision making is not his, right? Very clearly he hired someone. Yeah. Cause he's making the nerds happy. And if you're making the nerds happy and also look and talk like Dan Campbell, you probably hired a nerd. So that's positive. Do you know who the offensive coordinator is for the Detroit Lions?
I looked it up and then I lost it. Who is it?
A guy named I was about to say Ben Johnson.
Okay.
Yeah.
They should have a good offensive line if it stays healthy. And assuming like Penei Sewell continues to improve. Big V, who maybe overpaid, played a little bit better last year. I think PFF has them projected as number 3 offensive line. Trevor in the YouTube chat pointed out gave the Cardinals a double-digit loss. That's when he knew they were doomed last year. That was a classic. Kyler wants no part of playing football game for me. They did have Lions. This is I know you're a DVOA guy, right? The Lions had the worst defensive DVOA and most yards allowed per play when in nickel personnel. So which is like essentially every NFL team's base package. Is nickel, and that's really what worries me. There's 2 things that jump out at me. One, their secondary. I think you can still throw on this team in a big way. Now maybe Hutchinson shows out and helps the pass rush, but
Sean, we met the man.
Yes,
not to be disrespectful, but we've met a handful of defensive linemen and shook their hand.
Yeah.
Some of these dudes, my hand gets lost in their hand. Like they must be coming with some serious situations. That was not the case with Aiden Hutchinson. And so I think the case against him was, hey, he was a work guy. He was a couple move guy. Obviously he was good at his craft, but if he gets to the NFL and the dudes are just bigger and stronger, does he have the athleticism? I don't know if he's going to just be drop in and be good.
He doesn't strike me. I think maybe he does have a ceiling, but he doesn't strike me as a guy who's going to dominate week 1.
No,
like it just, I don't.
Let me ask you, Sean, is this alpha? Is this an alpha move? He came in. He's like, "Hey, vets, what do you guys want for snack?" Apparently, the vets all like him because he took the initiative on like getting snacks for the room and everything. Like, sounds like a real mama's boy.
And I could see local kid. Maybe he does. Maybe he has a ceiling that we're not seeing yet. But I don't know if he's going to have an impact on this defense year one.
Does Detroit have steps he can run up? Like, is that the kind of story we're talking about here? Ben Johnson, a former tight end coach last year for the Lions. Last time we saw a tight end coach get vaulted into the play calling roles, it was Freddie Kitchens and the New York Football Giants. That didn't work out well.
Well, and Dan Campbell is a former tight ends coach himself. So
a little bias.
I mean, again, like me some tight ends. I like the football energy the Lions are bringing. It all comes down to me to Jared Goff. Like that's why I was banging the table for them to draft Malik Willis. At least there's a potential ceiling with Malik Willis. There's some spark freak athletic plays that you could see him making, or some plays with his feet, and you need something
like winning
different.
a road playoff game type of ceiling.
And again, Jared Goff, as a man who owns shares in Jared Goff Sucks Island, there's been times where the shares are worth less. There are times when the shares are worth more. Ryan, all these like nerd guys and numbers guys who are all just in a full lather about the Detroit Lions. One, completely ignoring Jared Goff, but completely ignoring Dan Campbell. Remember Dan Campbell throwing Jared Goff under the bus at the podium?
That's how you bring a family together.
Dan Campbell doesn't believe in Jared Goff. Why should I, as a bettor, believe in Jared Goff if Dan Campbell doesn't?
I mean, and now Paul Walker's character in Fast and the Furious, I'm blanking on his name, but Vin Diesel and him, they had the conflict, and it brought the family closer together. Sean, that's how it works. Yeah, I mean, look, I think Jared Goff is still Jared Goff, right? Jared Goff without McVay has 24 touchdowns and 15 interceptions. Period. Like that he's 3-17-1 without Sean McVay as his coach. I get it. He was unlucky last year, 2-6 in close games. They had a tough schedule, 5th according to DVOA. This year it's easier, 26th or projected to be. One thing that really stood out, actually, I have all these numbers on Jared Goff, so I'm gonna fucking use them. He got sacked 35 times last year. That was a career high. I understand the offensive line is exciting to a lot. They're showing up in the top 5 PFF, top 5 for Warren Sharp.
But I mean, they also got banged up a bunch, and that has a tendency to. I know you can't project injuries, but it does seem to happen, more frequently once you kind of get injured.
The amount of terror in the Lions subreddit over the hype is pretty hilarious. They are.
I feel like everyone outside of Detroit likes the Lions, except but the people in Detroit are like, no, don't believe it. What are you doing?
Shut your mouth. I think this is all about Jared Goff, and I guess you can believe he's gonna just magically become something he's never been.
Yeah.
And maybe he can produce in fantasy, because I think the offense is fun. I think it's another case where you can at least tell yourself,
DeAndre Swift.
Oh, I see Swift in fantasy. I could sell myself on Hawkinson and DJ Chark and Jameson Williams and coming late.
Yeah.
Amon Ross St. Brown, a guy who like balled out last year. You can get excited about that. Good offensive line, but back to the point on the defense, part of the reason this team lost close games and part of the reason this team went 3-13-1 last year is their defense sucked.
Yeah.
And your stat on their nickel defense, that's a problem, because that's what you have to play in the league. They were 32nd on third down offense last year and 29th on third down defense. I don't know.
I'm looking at their draft picks too. I mean, they drafted one guy for the secondary. That was Chase Lucas in the 7th round. Now I know, they went big on Hutchinson, Josh Pascal in the 2nd round with the idea of, and Kirby Joseph in the 3rd round safety. I guess they're trying to build around the idea of like getting the pass rush to help the back end secondary. But I'm still skeptical that they're going to be able to stop the pass, and I'm skeptical about Jared Goff. So We'll walk through the schedule, but rattle off the odds, Ryan. What are we looking at for our Detroit Lions here?
Oh, well, I mean, the fact that it's 6.5. I mean, I know they underperformed the Pythag by 1.5 wins last year, which gets people excited, but that they still only won 3. Like all of these like bad luck things, they still only won 3 games. So the win total is at 6.5. The juice is pretty even, -115 over, -105 under. North 10-1. And a conference 55-1, 125-1 on the Super Bowl. Make the playoffs is 4 -85. Miss is -715. All these things feel appropriately priced. I guess would I rather have the Steelers or the Lions to win the division? That's a good conversation.
100% the Steelers.
Probably the Steelers.
I mean,
when I hear
that's
people,
insane to me that they're even similar.
I understand all the bounce back cases. I do think that the stat I just mentioned about third down, like that's got to mean something on offense, like Jared Goff. On defense, no pass rush. So perhaps the pass rush is fixed and they are able to get home. But they did have, the Football Outsiders did call out that they had the most snaps to rookies last year too, which is generally a good sign. But I don't know if I'm sold at Dan Campbell being this great coach that everyone's like, yeah, they got the coach right.
No, and he got
high energy, but they
he's
went
a motivator, right?
I watched Joe Judge do this for a year where everyone got excited and they still only won 5
football
games.
guy. Oh, Sean, look at this video. They're doing the Oklahoma drill and there's mud everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. Have you seen the offense? Have you seen the quarterback? And to your point, Ryan, we just recorded our fantasy football sleepers episode, dropping early next week, and we've gotten a little bit of a discussion about quarterbacks.
Yes.
And at the quarterback position, and for me, my take on Daniel Jones and Jared Goff are very similar. I mean, I would say I'd rather have Jared Goff at this point because we've seen a higher ceiling. But to me, I know who Jared Goff is. I know who Daniel Jones is. I want to bet against both those quarterbacks coming up in this season.
Again, random drive-by for no good reason. I have never seen Jared Goff run a 50-yard touchdown. I do think.
Is that the one he tripped on his own?
He didn't get into the end zone, Sean. You understand the rules of football.
Didn't that cost you a big bet?
That did cost me a big bet. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're laughing at it.
Let's have some fun, right?
Oh, no fun at this podcast. Look, yeah, I don't know what I was going to say because you just randomly just took out the shotgun and blasted Dan Jones. By the way, that's his name now.
Dan Jones.
Dan Jones.
You know what?
But Jared Goff. I mean, here the case is he's going to be able. This offense should be able to move the ball on teams.
Certainly.
But they're also going to give up points.
Yeah, and your point may be interesting when it comes to fantasy. Speaking of fantasy, head over to sleeper.com/SGP. Get in on their brand new over under game. You probably already have the Sleeper Fantasy app, but now over under, aka parlaying player props, 2x all the way up to 20x the amount of money you put in. Very fun, especially grinding out MLB in the summer. It's a grind, but again, very fun. The 2x to 20x is it's a great rush. Sleeper.com/SGP or use that promo code SGP. Instant deposit match up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. Please see Sleeper's terms of use for details. Is it time to walk through the schedule, Ryan?
We can do that.
Okay.
All right. Let me make sure I'm keeping track. All right. Detroit. And again, Sean, I believe the reasons why this team could be good and even start good. So maybe here's the lesson. I think we're going to take something out of this. Philly at home, Washington at home, at Minnesota at Minnesota in the spaceship, Seattle at home. Ooh. There are winnable games on this part of the schedule. I don't know if they're gonna go and play Minnesota and win in some sort of shootout because I think I trust Kirk. Strangely, I'll trust. I assume this isn't a primetime game. I'll trust Kirk Cousins and that offense versus Jared Goff. But boy,
could they beat the Commanders at home?
0-2 for Carson Wentz. Quarterback controversy. Absolutely, they can beat the Commanders at home.
It's football guy and football guy crime. Him and Ron Rivera.
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, see, Ron Rivera is kind of a batter ass football guy in my eyes, but yeah, I think they can win that game. I think they can win the Seattle game. I mean, depending on what you think Seattle is going to be, could they come out of the gate with 2 wins?
The first 4 they could.
Well, they'll be favored in 2 games, right? Will they be favored? They're favored over the Commanders, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So favored in 1 game. Will they win 2?
Will they win 2? I'm going back.
I like the idea of having the Lions start a little hot, get a little frisky, and then people getting excited.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I'm coming in with the lean on the under, so I almost want to be generous and give them that second win, so I can have a little padding when we actually get to
okay.
the very end. So
Well,
I'll give them 2 wins.
You'll join me on the 2.
I think
wins.
Seahawks and Commanders at home, they could win too.
Yeah, Commanders then could be really bad. Could be real. All right, at New England bye week, at Dallas, Miami at home. Oh, and Green Bay at home. Jesus. Well, they're never going to beat Green Bay at home, so you can just scratch that off.
Yeah.
Miami at home.
Miami
could be a solid enough team to win that game.
Yeah, I don't want to compliment Tua publicly.
One? Can they get
I'm
one?
gonna
At Dallas.
I'll say one. So I got them 3 and 5 right now.
Yeah, we're both on 3 and 5. All right, next up we got what are we at? Week 9. We got at Chicago.
Yep.
At New York Giants. Back-to-back road games.
Very well. I mean, again, I'm higher on the Bears than most.
Yeah, just pointing out that's giving that back-to-back road game situation there. Not so great. But then we have Buffalo and Jacksonville at home.
Okay, they win 1 game.
1 game.
I think they either beat the Jags at home or the Giants on the road.
Okay. And then we have.
So I got them at 4.
By the way, very hilarious to listen to Detroit fans and beat reporters talk shit on the Bears. Like the Bears, they are so happy about the Lions compared. Like they love shitting on the Bears. The Bears are in the world. Imagine making jokes like the Bears are where we were 2 years ago without any sort of idea what they're doing. Like it's like, oh boy,
you guys won 3 games last year.
Yeah, like guys, relax. All right. Last 4 and we'll leave the bonus game out. Sean loves that part.
No,
Minnesota at home,
include it.
At New York Jets, at Carolina, another strange back-to-back road spot against bad teams, and Chicago at home. By the way, the Buffalo game was on Thanksgiving. Buffalo's gonna fuck them up on Thanksgiving. All right, so Minnesota at home, at Jets, at Carolina, Chicago at home. Do they win? Do they beat Minnesota and or Chicago?
So I'll give them 2, right? Because I think they could beat Minnesota, and then I wouldn't be shocked if they win one of those
2.
Jets or Panthers games. And yeah, I'm came in with like the idea that I like the idea of being on the under, but I'm going to be generous. Give them 2 here.
And then they
6.
finish at Green Bay.
No way. Well, although Green Bay could be resting their starters, which is a legit thing there.
They're not getting that win.
But yeah, so I got them at 6 and 11, right?
Yep.
6 and 11 on the under, and we'll talk futures here in a second.
We were really positive.
I know, that's why I said like I wanted to come in with the idea of like, hey, I'm gonna go out of my way to be higher on the Detroit Lions and see where it ends up.
Right, I need to make sure I think they're gonna beat the Bears twice. Like, do I have them beating the Bears twice? I think I do.
Brian, while you're doing that, want to shout out. I mean, I think it's a lock to take the under on the Detroit Lions 6.5, but I know the real lock is when it comes to internet security, aka IP Vanish. If you're a degenerate, you need a VPN. All right, whether you're hiding your location, your browsing history, your internet traffic, ISP, prying eyes. We know who prying eyes are. You don't want them getting into your activities. IP Vanish is the program for you. Again, very easy to install, set up. Even if you're like, a little worried about a VPN, again, very simple. You can get it on your phone, Fire Stick, laptop. Great for when you're traveling. 30%, or sorry, you're only paying 30% because you're getting 70% off. You go to ipvanish.com/SGP, ipvanish.com/SGP. 30-day money back guarantee as well. All right, so Kramer, anything else we haven't mentioned or future bets you like on the lines? Obviously, I like Eagles -4 week 1. Gonna release that early play to my clients. I don't know if you can technically call that a future, but under 6.5. I mean, it's weird. Like could maybe make the sneaky case if they did something to upgrade the quarterback position, or even something different. Give us some sort of hope as Lions potential backers that it might be a little different.
Well, I think we don't know who's calling plays, so I guess that's different.
Okay,
like it's kind of suspense. Like maybe we'll do something interesting. I mean, I think that's a fun way to look at it. Anthony Lynn maybe wasn't the most progressive offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Right?
But also he may have had a
He was
decently,
like a player coach though. I don't know.
wait, he was a player coach?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
a
people
player's
liked him,
coach.
yeah.
Okay. I think they meant like player coach where he's like lining up and
he's running. He's running.
I don't remember
fourth
him.
string running.
I don't
back.
remember him getting any reps in there.
I think the case for them is they come out. I mean, I think a lot will be seen in week 1. Honestly, I think the Eagles are coming in with a lot of hype. I think Detroit's coming in with a lot of hype, and I have a feeling it's not going to be a close game one way or another. And I do think, like, if Philly comes out and blows Detroit out, what are they saying? What are the nerds saying? Then we're going to bet the shit out of Detroit week 2 against Washington, right? So maybe that's the plan. Now we've really figured this out.
We got it all figured out, Ryan.
Detroit, bet on Detroit week 2. Yeah, could things break right early in the year and they could amass enough wins? They just have their road games are just weird, and they have 2 back-to-back road spots. Yeah. It just doesn't seem like, because again, unless you think Dan Campbell is some fucking genius, like, we don't really know what the offense is going to look like. And you're kind of relying on the offense to carry the ship.
Well,
so
yeah, and again, the guys they're going to be relying on, TJ Chark and Jameson Williams, have played 0 snaps with Jared Goff. So
Josh Reynolds still there,
and I'm on St. Brown. He was
slot
fun.
guy, but he's good.
But he has chemistry with Goff. We'll see what and how much do we know how much they're planning on reworking their offense.
I mean, I think the plan, from what the tea leaves I'm gathering, is that, like, they would love to be a team that can rely on their offensive line and running game. I think they understand Jared Goff's limitations, and I think part of the reason they're trying to be is, if they can run the ball with Swift and maybe big dog Jamal Williams gets to eat a little bit, but if they can run the ball effectively, Jared Goff becomes interesting because he was good in Los Angeles running the play action like that. That's the best. So I think in their world,
he just says no dog in him. That's why Dan Campbell hates him.
The scary thing is if
he knows a soft football player when he sees one.
The scary thing is that if Dan Campbell's listening to smart people, they might say, "Hey, we suck on defense. We really need our strength is our offensive line. We have a great running back. Our quarterback isn't the best passer. Let's try to run it a little bit more." And that's the death sentence for the fantasy angle. Like, if they randomly become a slow it down team because they know they can't win in shootouts.
So Ryan, getting to the futures though,
I want nothing to do with any positive futures here.
Okay. So adjusted win total, anything you like there I think on the negative side?
We were talking exact order.
Yeah.
I think anything where I can slot the Lions in the 3rd slot.
Oh, and you're buying in on the Bears being the 4th slot, I assume.
I think one of the, we'll get to that in the division preview, but I think one of the more locked up things in my mind is that the Bears are going to be hard. Maybe first pick next
well,
year.
Ryan, certainly you're in the Joe Q Public pile there.
We go.
Have you heard anyone say anything positive about the Bears?
You can take the chalk parlay and it's 4-1. Packers, Vikings, Detroit, Chicago.
It's also, if you switch Chicago and Detroit, it's also 4-1.
You get 2-1 both ways. That feels like a lock. Did we just all right?
Maybe that's a lock.
2-1 that it goes green. Yeah. All right. We figured.
All right. Add that to the list, Ryan. We're going to make that an official play. And I'm going to tag on fewest wins at 12-1.
Interesting.
I mean, they're the Lions. Like I know.
So this is the what if Jared Goff takes a step back.
If Jared Goff is just slightly worse.
Well, let me remind you.
Is that possible? He won 3 games last year. Is it possible they just win 3 games again this year? And that there's no 2-win
without Sean McVay, he's 3-17-1 career, 24 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. I've started to do some analytics deep dive, and I'm coming up with a havoc metric for quarterbacks. Basically, it's a how fucking out of control, crazy it is it to bet on this quarterback?
Yeah,
and it's essentially a collection of mistakes versus scoring plays. Okay. Positively impacting your team, directly negative impacting interceptions, fumbles, sacks. So in this metric for Jared Goff with McVay versus without McVay, the number doubles. He becomes someone who is higher variance, more risky than even a Daniel Jones.
Well, Ryan,
That's insane.
the whole
Daniel
thing
Jones has fumbled more than anyone can possibly fumble in the NFL.
The whole thing with Jared Goff was that Sean McVay would call in what to do and the defense before the snap, and that's why he was good.
For perspective, because I wanted to give proper perspective. I haven't come up with final, but like it's 3 times riskier than Aaron Rodgers. Josh Allen, even a guy who fumbles a lot, a guy who makes mistakes a lot, 3 times higher variance, more risk to play a Jared Goff situation. I just think when you don't have a good defense, you can't not take care of the ball, and his small hands lead to him fumbling. You could argue that even within a good offensive line, he will work his way into sacks at times. And so I think your lowest wins is interesting. I strangely also like Jared Goff to throw the most interceptions. They didn't take that quarterback like you mentioned. He has
and Trevor in the YouTube chat pointing out David Blow, who
right?
Or I don't know. We had this conversation last year. If he has to start, they're completely screwed. So there's not a quarterback waiting in the wings to be relieved. What is he for most interceptions?
I'm trying to find where they hide this shit. I'll find it in a second. But yeah, I mean, I think. Oh man, I like this angle a lot. Here we go. There's so what a world we live in, Sean. There's so many bets, it's impossible to find them all. All right. Okay. This is interesting. Wouldn't have guessed this. Jared Goff, 20-1.
Do we take a sprint? What's a better bet, Ryan? Well, I already gave out fewest wins because I think that's live. I don't mind your Jared. I'll let you have Jared Goff interceptions as the long shot.
20-1.
Yeah.
Most interceptions.
And then we'll throw as a team play the exact order with Green Bay and Minnesota first and second, and then Chicago and Detroit. Either way, that works out to a +200.
Yeah, I'm writing all this down for us. All
right, Ryan, while you're doing that, I'm going to take a nice swig out of this delicious got a little ginger tea in here, and it's a sweet SGP coffee mug. Shout out to Jake in the merch store, store.sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Get you one of these guys. They have an over under cups of coffee at 4.5. It's set. We could see some line shift there, but check out the new and improved store. Tons of great stuff there. And if you don't want to pay for it, which I wouldn't, you can get it for free. All you got to do is submit a screenshot of you reviewing Sports Gambling Podcast on Apple Podcasts. Take that screenshot, open up your app. Again, all this is free. Click contest, submit that review, and you got a chance to win free gear or a coffee mug from the SGPN store every Monday, aka Merch Monday. Shout out to Poo Puncher in the YouTube chat saying that's a fucking beautiful mug.
Thank you. That's a great thing to say. All right, so I think I got it all down. What was the prop you were throwing out?
I threw out fewest wins.
Okay, that's right. I mean, I don't love. I would say like from a player prop perspective, I would fade Swift. It's not going to all fall right.
No,
for the Detroit.
The
Lions.
most consistent thing is, to your point, Jared Goff not into Sean McVay's system. It's a recipe for disaster.
It hasn't.
I feel everything else about the Lions, the roster, the rebuild, it seems to be trending in the right direction. They just don't have a quarterback.
Bobby Lane, as Colby would be remiss if I didn't bring this up. Bobby Lane, of course, when leaving town after being shipped off to, I believe, the Steelers, said the franchise wouldn't do shit, and one playoff win in since 1957.
He was right. He nailed it.
And you think Dan Campbell and Jared Goff are going to be the guys.
He is not breaking Bobby Lane's curse.
Matt Stafford immediately won the Super Bowl.
I know. Does that not show you the curse exists?
Immediately. All right.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He is Ryan.
Oh, baby. 2 down, 30 to go.
Kramer, let it ride.